you never let go of the rope because you never know who's in the basket. You don't ever know who you're helping. You don't never know if you do help this person, who that person will become and how they can influence people. And my last story is about that. It's about a young man that I knew very well, and he was very well known. His mom and dad were Christian people. He played basketball. He was 15 years of age, and life was just wonderful. Had an older sister that was in college, and he was at the peak of life. Everything was wonderful. And he'll tell you that it was on a Wednesday morning during the summer in August that he got his first summer job for the little town that he worked in, and he left that morning going to work. And as he walked out the door, his mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she told him, she said, I want you to stop by Coleman's Barbecue and pick us up a barbecue. So the older people can tell how old this story is. So there was one of those in the small town. So he leaves and he comes home at lunch and he stops by the Coleman's Barbecue and he buys a couple of sandwiches. He comes home and he sets his mom down on the table and tells her that her lunch is there. He eats. He goes back. He tells his mom bye. He'll see her that afternoon. So he walks out the door. He comes back late that afternoon. He walks into the house. He calls for his mom. She doesn't answer. He looks around the house, doesn't find her. He walks into the kitchen and he notices that barbecue is still sitting on the table right where he left it. And that was odd. So he began to ramble through the house to find out where his mom may be or what may have happened. And he walks into the bedroom and he'll tell the story that he saw his mom lying on the floor and she'd committed suicide. And it was a very dramatic scene. She had taken a shotgun, put it under her chin, and pulled the trigger. And that was the last vision that he saw of his mom at 15 years of age. His basketball career ended. He didn't get to play. His dad was at work. His sister was at college. He was there by himself. He calls his dad, tells him what happened. And his whole life, in 2 seconds, just completely went in turmoil. And he started that downward spiral of what am I going to do now? My perfect family, my mom is gone. She's not going to see me graduate. She'll never see me play basketball. What am I going to do? And all this caves in on him. And lo and behold, during that facet of his life, there was a guy that came forward and said, what I want you to do is every afternoon when you get off the bus, I want you to come over to my place of business and we're going to hang out. And so sure enough, this kid did that. He would get out of school, he would come home, he would go over next door to this place of business, and after a few weeks, the gentleman bought a ping pong table. And they began to play every day. And that kid said at school the entire time, from homeroom to first period to fifth period, he was looking forward to getting home to play ping pong. He did that every day. And he did that for not day on end, week on end, month on end, year on end, till when the kid graduated from high school, he went on to college and he played ping pong at college. Didn't even know there was a such thing. Well, there was another gentleman that kind of plugged into the individual's life. It was the mayor of the town. And he told that young man about a month or so after he had lost his mom, he said, I tell you what, I've got tickets to the Indianapolis 500, the 63rd annual in Indianapolis, Indiana. This kid had never been out of Mississippi, much less on a plane. And the mayor said, I want to take you with me. So the kid gets all excited. That summer, they load up, they go to Memphis, they get on a plane, he flies him, he goes to Indianapolis 500. The kid will tell you he can remember A.J. Foyt won it. And it was like it was yesterday. The kid was so impressed and so enthralled over that trip that when he came back and was a senior in high school, at that particular time, he wrote a term paper. And that term paper was entitled the 63rd Annual Indy 500. And the winner was A.J. Foyt. And it was just so many people that plugged into this young man's life because there was drugs and there was alcohol available and everything else. And depression was real. It ran in their family. As a matter of fact, later on in life, that young man found out that his mother had 7 other brothers and sisters, and 5 of them committed suicide. And so it was very prevalent of the downward spiral that this kid got in. But it was people plugging into his life, just like Ananias plugged into Saul, that changed him. And I told you about the other two. The first one that came to the rehab and made it fine in life and made something. The young lady that went to drug court, and she ended up as a registered nurse and got back on her feet and got off of drugs and is now helping people. Well, the third guy, you'd be surprised what he does today. He serves as your sheriff. And that was my story. And it was because people plugged into my life and they didn't let go of the rope. And the thing about it is, they had no idea at that point that I would be the sheriff of this county. And to prove that, the very first person that came into my office when I was elected in 2003, because his son was in jail and his son had hit rock bottom, that gentleman is the same gentleman that taught me to play ping pong when I was 15 years of age. And he never knew when we were batting that ball back and forth on that paddle and that board that 30-something years later, I would be sitting in a position that I was able to help his son become somebody. And these people in this particular story in Acts never knew that they were helping Paul, who was later going to write much of the New Testament, and it still touched lives today. So don't let go of the rope. You may be the only one holding on. You don't know how far they are from the bottom, and you never know who's in that basket. And God bless you.